The superheroes of the Spring Solariums tonight. For the New York Rangers, it is Cesar Maniago. And for the Toronto Maple Leafs, it's the China Wall, Johnny Bauer. Because it's October 22nd, 1966. The Rangers are in town to face the Leafs on opening night at the Gardens. You're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. The New York Rangers are led by Rod Gilbert, who will score 28, Donnie Marshall with 24, and former Leaf Bob Nevin with 20. The Maple Leafs this season will have just two 20-goal shooters, Ron Ellis with 22 and Jimmy Pappin with 21. Wayne Swoop Carlton was born in Sudbury but grew up in Beaton, Ontario before joining the Toronto Marlboros in 1962, starring for the next 5 years, including a Memorial Cup victory in 1964. A big, lanky left winger, Carlton would play in parts of 5 seasons with the Leafs before spending time in Boston, where he would win another Stanley Cup, and California with the Golden Seals. In 278 NHL games, Carlton scored 55 times and totaled 128 points. And Swoop joins us here tonight to go back to a couple of opening nights at the Gardens, which were always very special. But I guess 1966 might have been a tad bit more special for Wayne Carlton because this is, okay, I'm here, and I'm going to be here for a while, I hope.
Well, basically, back then, as you said, it was opening night was a big to-do in Toronto because everybody came dressed to the nines, and obviously, great hockey city. And I was a rookie, making what hope would be my first start and many more starts in the National Hockey League, and it just was great excitement.
Wayne, it's not your first NHL game. You've been called up as a youngster.
Yes, I was called up a couple of times under punch there when I was playing for the Marlies, and fortunately enough, I picked up a point, I think an assist against Boston.
Now, this team, 1966-67 season, is a veteran-laden team that has not won the Stanley Cup in a couple of years, and yet has really the nucleus of those 3 Cup teams still very much in the dressing room.
Well, at that time, punch was always more towards the older guys because obviously he had won a number of Stanley Cups with the Armstrongs, the Pulfords, the Keans, and when he added new faces, it was the Marcel Pronovos and the Pierre Pilots and so on and so forth, Terry Sawchuk. For us young guys, even though we were coming off the Memorial Cup team in 63-64 where we had an unbelievable team, it was hard to break into the lineup. Ronnie Ellis probably was the first. He played on the right wing, and then I played the line with Marlies was Peter Stemkowski and myself. And for Peter and I, we seemed to be it was a little more difficult for us to get in. And the reason being is because they had great centermen, Davey Keon, Bob Pulford, Normie Ullman,
Red Kelly,
and so it was very difficult to break in, even though we'd come out of junior with a lot of expectations.
Now, 66-67, I'm not really sure. Maybe you can answer this for me. Expansion is coming in 1 more year. It may not have been full-blown yet as far as what the players thought, or was it? Or did you sit in the room, and maybe the veterans sit in the room and think that things are changing, and maybe there's going to be opportunities, and maybe there'll be a lot of change as far as the league is concerned?
Back then, I think you were more concerned with trying to make it, and obviously, the American League was a pretty good league. I mean, there was lots of guys that were just very close to being in the National Hockey League, but not quite there. And then you went back down to the Central League, and that's where most of the juniors ended up going. And it was, again, another league that was very fast-paced. There was a lot of veterans and a lot of young players at a junior. So there was lots of talent in the pool, but I don't think we thought that we heard about expansion, but until it really happened, I don't think it really played on your mind. You were just worried about trying to find a spot with a big team.
All right. Well, the New York Rangers are in town, and they have some firepower and people like Rod Gilbert and Donnie Marshall as we start the 1966-67 season in Toronto, the home opener for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And you're watching Molson Canadian Maple Leaf Classics on Leafs TV. One of the delights of doing Leaf Classic games is watching how the technology changes as far as the game being shown in your living room. Well, the technology is not going to exactly change because we have it. This is the first game, 1966, that the game at home was shown in color. The technology hadn't quite arrived yet to allow us to videotape it or record it in color. So you're going to watch the game in black and white here on Leafs TV with the knowledge that if you were around in 1966, you were watching it in color. I'm not sure that makes any sense, but don't adjust your set when we start the first period because it will be in black and white. Let's go upstairs to Bill Hewitt.
All right, we're all set to start the first period now. Red Kelly will go to center ice with Larry Jeffrey, number 15, on the left wing. Ron Ellis on the right. Horton and Douglas on the defense. Phil Goyette is number 20, Donnie Marshall number 22, and Rod Gilbert number 7. Harry Howell is 3, and Ernie Brown number 4. And the season is open, and Kelly gets a shot right off the bat. It's right in front of the net, cleared off into the corner. The puck is cleared up to the blue line. Rod Gilbert, a pass for Donnie Marshall. Over the blue line, and Horton picks it up as Marshall is knocked down. Back to the Maple Leafs. Horton, a long pass to Jeffrey, over the line. There's his shot, wide. Horton takes a shot. That's right in front of the net. Goes over to Gilbert. Gilbert, a long pass for Goyette at center. Over to Marshall, up over the blue line. Marshall is hit. Goyette getting right in on goal. And Howell made the save. Here's a pass picked up by Ellis. Play is called. It was knocked down and directed by a high stick. Face-off is in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. Earl Ingerfield, Vic Hadfield, and Reg Fleming. Here's a lead for Eddie Shack. Rick Selby and Ryan Conacher over the line. Shack is hit. Selby has it. Tried to center it. Hit the back of the net. Gets it again. Centered it out in front for Shack. Conacher shoots. He scores! Ryan Conacher. And that's his first NHL goal.
Toronto goal scored by number 22, Conacher. Assist, number 11, Selby. And number 23, Shack. The time, 58 seconds.
On the face-off, the puck is back into the New York Rangers zone. Conacher and Hillman bump together. Selby's in there with them, and there's no further play. Ryan Conacher, Eddie Shack, and Fritz Selby, Alan Stanley, and Larry Hillman. For the New York Rangers, it'll be Earl Ingerfield, Reggie Fleming, Vic Hadfield, Hillman, and Jimmy Nielsen. There's a shot. Manny Eagle got a hold of it. It's cleared to the corner. Got up on the boards. Out to center ice. Shack is back for it. He gets shotted into the crowd. The face-off is at the edge of the blue line. Conacher with Selby and Shack facing Ingerfield, Hadfield, and Fleming. Larry Hillman gets it out to center ice. It's stopped there by Nielsen. Nielsen shot it back. Stanley knocks it out again. Jimmy Nielsen tapping it at center. Tried to get it over the line. Fleming is hit by Stanley. And Conacher with it. Got it over the line. It's offside. Shack went in ahead of the pass. Keon with Wayne Carlton and Jim Pappen with Horton and Douglas on the defense. Red Berenson, number 24 for the New York Rangers, along with Bill Hickey, number 17, and Doug Robinson, number 19. Robinson was checked by Bauer, and the puck goes to Dave Keon. Keon off the boards for Carlton. Carlton gets it out to center ice. Jimmy Pappen races after it. It was cut by Brown. Carlton took his shot. Pappen tried to deflect it in the net. It comes back to Douglas. Douglas lets his shot go. He fired it over top of the net. On the face-off, Tim Horton puts the puck into the New York Rangers zone. Stopped there by Cesar Maniego. Dion checked him but couldn't center it. The puck is to Hickey, number 17, who shot it behind the net. Arnie Brown with it. Arnie Brown, number 4, the New York Rangers. To Berenson, his pass went out to center ice. Horton handed right to Hickey. It's over the line outside as Robinson was well inside the blue line. On the face-off, the New York Rangers with Rod Gilbert shot. Bauer slapped it on his pad. Clearing pass for Armstrong. George Armstrong in his own blue line up here to center ice, intercepted by Wayne Hillman. He took a long shot. Bauer stopped it, and Larry Hillman picked it up for the Maple Leafs. He's checked by Goyette. Goyette nearly got it out in front. Larry Hillman over on the boards for Armstrong. Couldn't get it out. Bill Goyette from behind the net. Centered it right in front, and Rod Gilbert just couldn't get a shot. Donnie Marshall with it now. Passed it behind the net for Goyette. It went by his stick. Veneman can't get it out. Stanley, a pass to Armstrong to Simpkowski. Simpkowski is hit hard by Nielsen. Armstrong over the line. Play is called and a penalty here to Jimmy Nielsen. The Maple Leafs will have a man advantage now, playing 6 men to 5 with Nielsen in the penalty box. Keon, Carlton, Armstrong, Papin, and Douglas. Keon back for Papin. Papin just shot it in. Manny Eagle out of the net. Puts the pass ahead to Berenson, and Berenson gets it to Steeling, number 16. Back to Berenson, over the line. They're going in together, and Steeling just barely gets the pass. George Armstrong coming out now for the Leafs down the right wing. A pass to Keon with Carlton. Carlton takes his shot, and he hits the corner. Papin moves up. Back to Douglas. Douglas took a shot. That's high. Manny Eagle out of the net grabs it and throws it. Carlton being watched by Wayne Hillman. Kicks it for Armstrong. Armstrong of the Leafs is hit by Howell. Berenson and Keon. Armstrong in there as well. The puck goes loose to Keon. Coming right in front of the net. Still has it. Back to Papin. Papin shoots. He hit the goal post. Jim Papin hit the post. The puck is cleared right back to him again at the blue line. Up for Wayne Carlton. Maniego shot it into the corner. Here's a chance for Douglas' shot. Maniego stopped that. Keon hit by Wayne Hillman. Still has it. Right in front to come. Oh! Wayne Carlton for the Toronto Maple Leafs. And that's his first NHL goal.
Scored by number 25, Carlton. Assist number 14, Keon, and number 19, Douglas. Time 5:10.
The puck is back at the Leaf blue line. Stanley took by Ingerfield. Ingerfield takes his shot. That's off the target. Larry Jeffrey, number 15. With Ellis and Kelly. Kelly over the line. Kelly still with it. Took his shot wide. Jeffrey raced after the rebound, but the Rangers get possession. Reggie Fleming, a pass to Ingerfield. Ingerfield at center ice, a long shot. Bauer let it go, and it hit the glass, ending up behind the net. Ellis just shoots it out over the blue line. Arnie Brown now to Reg Fleming. Stanley bumped into him. Kelly now with Jeffrey and Ellis. Over the line together. Kelly took a backhand, has it handed back to him. Jeffrey centered it. Picked off there by Ingerfield, number 10 of the Rangers, to Fleming in his own zone. A pass. Ellis tried to knock it down with his glove. Ingerfield at center ice. Stanley came back quickly and shot into the Leafs zone, and Larry Hillman's back for it, number 2. To Ronnie Ellis, to Brian Conacher. Up to Larry Jeffrey. There's his shot. Manny Eagle made the save. The puck is in the corner. Wayne Hillman gets away from Ellis. Conacher partially checks Robinson. Then Conacher is hit by Fleming. Robinson over the line for New York to Berenson. Berenson's shot is high off the glass. Stanley for Rich Selby. Rich Selby, number 11. Up for Conacher. Stopped by Howell. Jack is on the ice. Selby is draped along the boards, and it's picked off there by Jimmy Nielsen. He's checked by Conacher. Conacher centered it shot wide of the corner. Doug Robinson. A pass for Hickey. Conacher let one go, and a great save by Manny Eagle. The Leafs are buzzing all around that New York Ranger net. It goes to Robinson on the far wing. He just shoots it to center ice. Douglas picks it off. Goes back to Horton. Horton shoots it to the right side, and Jimmy Nielsen moves up. Shack took it away from him. To Conacher. They're going in together. Back to Shack. Shack shoots, and he's shot wide. There's Conacher centering it to Horton. Horton shoots. Oh, that was just off the corner, and Selby raced after it. Then Shack keeps it in for Conacher, and Conacher couldn't control it. Up for Howell to Hickey. Hickey missed a check from Douglas. Douglas gets it down the ice. Ernie Brown turns for New York. His pass is for Berenson and then to Hickey too far. Douglas failed to get it out. Howell keeps it in. Sending it out in front of the net. Bauer pokes it away. Brown gets his shot right on. Bauer stops it and Horton gets a hold of it. To Eddie Shack. Shack coming up. Blue line to center. Got it into the New York Rangers zone. Semkowski in there first. He and Brown bumped together. Going to be a penalty here to the Rangers. Play is called. Arnie Brown goes to the penalty box.
Two 2-0 in favor of the Maple Leafs. Wayne Carlton has scored his first National Hockey League goal with a pretty good centerman working Dave Keon and Kent Douglas getting the assists. Still have the puck?
Yes, I do. Yeah, I still have it at home. And that night, thinking back, my parents weren't in the stands, and one of the reasons being wasn't that we were that far away. It was just the fact that I wasn't certain how much I was going to play, and my dad was so used to me playing as a youngster, and with the Marlies getting lots of ice time, he didn't know how much ice time, so he didn't feel that they'd want to.
So he's probably back at home watching the game in color.
That's exactly
unless, of course, he didn't own a color TV
set. That's right. Back then, I don't think we had color.
I don't remember a lot of people owning color sets. So you kidding? But obviously a big thrill. And did you race out to the phone afterwards or just race home to talk about it?
Well, I phoned home after, and they'd seen the goal, and they even had the chance to see it a couple of times because of replay. I think replay was on at that time.
Yes,
so
sure.
For me it was a one-time thing, but certainly etched in my mind. It was certainly a great thrill because that's what you dream about when you were growing up playing as a little kid and hoping to get the opportunity. And you know, it's just it's a once-in-a-lifetime thing.
Now, you're in the lineup because a pretty good left winger is not in the lineup. Frank Mahovlich is a contract holdout, which is endearing him closely into the heart of Punchemlack at the time.
Well, I guess I sort of forgot about that, but bringing that up, yeah, I guess we had contract negotiations that got into problems back in those days. No different
Not
than
with
today.
you, though.
No,
you walked in and said, "Yes, Mr. Amlack, where do I sign?"
That's exactly right, because it was just a thrill to be there. But I think Frank had been around a little bit longer, and he found out what it was like, and now he wanted the money for producing. So, and it was a tough grind. I mean, they weren't throwing money around like
they were like manhole covers.
That's right. I was just going to say that's like manhole covers. That's right.
Well, Wayne Carlton has scored as the Maple Leafs own a 2-0 lead midway through period number 1. Let's go back upstairs for the play-by-play action with Bill Hewitt from the Gondola.
Face-off is in the New York Rangers zone. The Leafs have a man advantage again, playing 6 men to 5. Jim Pappen gives it to Keon, back to Pappen, a backhand, and it's finally Fleming shooting it down the ice. Kent Douglas goes back for it, number 19. A long pass for Armstrong over the line with Keon. Passing it back, Fleming intercepts. Fleming coming up to center ice, up over the Leaf line. Took his shot. Bauer stopped it. Wayne Carlton back for it. Carlton at his own blue line. Up to center. Took a long shot. That bounced off the boards. It was wide of the net. Maniego held on to it. And that was a real sizzler. Face-off is in the circle to the right of Cesar Maniego. Keon for Armstrong. He couldn't get a shot. Fleming just cleared it down the ice. Douglas back for it, number 19. Bauer. Ahead for Carlton, too far. Keon following up, waits for Carlton to get onside. Back to Douglas. Flips it in. Keon goes after it first, into the corner. Got it back for Pappen. Pappen shot hit Ingerfield. Pappen has it again to Keon. Back to Armstrong. Armstrong took his shot, and it's Fleming. Checked by Armstrong to Keon. Keon shot hit Wayne Hillman. Got it back for Douglas, and Douglas couldn't keep it in. Douglas to Keon. Wayne Hillman shoved the Leaf player around a bit. Fleming couldn't get it out. Maniego off the board. Here's Pappen, a shot. There's the rebound to Carlton. A great save by Maniego. Hello, Canada and hockey fans in the United States. Gojo here at Maple Leaf Gardens in Toronto. We have 9 minutes and 35 seconds remaining in the first period, and the score is the Toronto Maple Leafs 2 and the New York Rangers nothing. Brian Conacher from Selby and Shack at 58 seconds. Wayne Carlton from Keon and Douglas at 5:10, with Jimmy Nielsen off for boarding at 3:47. At the moment, Arnie Brown is just getting set to return to the ice. That's the second penalty of the game, and both of them been to the Rangers. One goal has been scored by the Leafs while they've had a man advantage. Arnie Brown gets on the ice now. New York Rangers in their white uniforms carrying it into the Leaf zone, and it's Larry Hillman back for it, number 2, behind the net. Over here to Larry Jeffrey, 15 for Kelly, and it was too far for him. Larry Hillman. Over for Larry Jeffrey at center ice. Jeffrey being watched, gets away from Rod Gilbert. Back to Hillman, over to Stanley. Stanley for Kelly. Kelly at center ice. Up over the blue line. Kelly still has into the corner. Goes behind the net. Flips it back to Stanley. Stanley took his shot. Here's Kelly getting right in front of the net. Here's the shot. Score! And Kelly off the top right-hand corner with a shot from about 20 feet in front of the net. And here's Brian with the replay.
Well, watch the old redhead on this one now. The pass goes back to the point, and Red now, he pick it up right here. Watch the backhand. Right in the net, and it's 3-0 Toronto over the Rangers, and the Leafs dominate play here in the first period.
And, Brian, while we're at it, I think we can mention the fact we had a real oddity in that first period with these two youngsters scoring.
Well, that's true. Conacher scoring at 58 seconds.
Number 4, Kelly. Assist, number 8, Ellis, and number 26, Stanley. The time, 11:15.
11:15 is the time of Kelly's goal from Ellis and Stanley. The Leafs lead 3-0. The puck is cleared at the blue line, out and in again.
Bill, you mentioned that early scoring. Brian Conacher got his first NHL goal at 58 seconds, and he was thrilled. He went in and retrieved the puck to keep as a souvenir from Selby and Shack, and then Carlton came back at 5:10. Now, he's got a blistering shot, and yet on his first goal, he kind of dribbled one right through Maniego's legs, but he's going to be proud nevertheless. That came at 5:10.
And, of course, he'll be seeing that in the first intermission. It's a chance for Eddie Shack with Selby outside. Selby went in over the blue line, actually. Hickey, number 17, took him in. And that means a face-off outside the blue line. The scoring plays then, Brian Conacher from Selby and Shack at 58 seconds, Carlton from Keon and Douglas at 5:10, and Kelly from Ellis and Stanley at 11:15. We have 8 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the first period. It's Red Berenson, number 24 for New York, along with Bill Hickey, number 17, and also Vic Hadfield is 11. The puck is in the lead zone behind the net for Kent Douglas. Douglas waits there. Over to Horton. For Eddie Shack at center ice, but it's trapped there by number 6, Al McNeil. For Hickey. Hickey covered, and Brian Conacher picks it up, number 22. Conacher now coming out. Up to center ice. Big watch by Barrington. Shot it over the line for Selby. Conacher picks the loose puck up. Tried to center it. Hickey got in front of him. Conacher checked him. The puck goes loose. Conacher stopped it. Selby for Shack, and Shack missed it. Hickey comes back. Horton is there at center. Play getting a bit scrambly as the two teams start to check. Been fairly loose up until this point. Kent Douglas with it, number 19. Ahead for Selby. Selby is checked. Berenson takes a hold of it for the Rangers. Over for Hatfield to McNeil. Al McNeil back for Vic Hatfield. The Leafs are changing. Brenneman is out on the ice, and it's shot wide of the Leafs net. Bauer out there to clear it to Johnny Brenneman. Perhaps one of the fastest skaters in the NHL, number 24. Ryan Conacher was offside as it went out over the blue line and in again. Conacher claimed that it didn't go over the blue line, but it was called by linesman Neil Armstrong, right?
Well, Conacher's certainly been the most impressive player on the ice this far in the hockey game, and we might mention that Frank Mahovlich did not agree to contract terms with the Leafs today. He is not in uniform tonight.
And, of course, Brian, they have Wayne Carlton playing on that left side. Well, the puck is cleared down into the Leaf zone, and Alan Stanley goes back for it, number 26. He hit the back of the net. Fleming was covering him. Larry Hillman, brother of Wayne Hillman, coming down the ice for the Maple Leafs. Got it. Maniego stopped it. Rod Sealing back behind the net. Armstrong went after it. So did Brenneman, but it winds up on Fleming's stick ahead to Ingerfield. Ingerfield clears it into the Leaf zone, goes after it, centered it. Stanley is there. Stanley watched by Fleming, but gets it over to the board. Ingerfield shot it. Sentowski couldn't stop it. Fleming back to Nielsen. There's his shot, and that hit a Leaf player. And Brenneman comes down the ice now for the Leafs to center ice. Shot it into the corner. Sealing goes back for it. Rod Sealing, number 16. Of the Rangers. Stopped by Armstrong. Stemkowski goes after it, number 12. And Nielsen beat him to it. And Armstrong took it away from him. Puck is in the Ranger zone. Hillman keeps it in there. Nielsen fails to get it out. It's held against the boards by Jimmy Nielsen, and there's no further play. 5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in this first period. And, Brian, since this is our first color telecast, how about the lights we have here tonight?
Well, of course, we have new lights for color TV. 54 incandescent 5,000-watt bulbs have been installed at the 90-foot level at the Garden. And as a safety measure, Bill, a plastic net has been suspended under the new lights in the event one of them should pop during a hockey game. We don't want anybody showered down there.
All right, Gilbert comes back to Hillman here, and Gilbert will move into position for this pass. Watch him right in front. He's got the stick down and right in the corner. A good play by Rod Gilbert, probably the classiest player on the New York Ranger club, and, of course, he's recovering from that spinal fusion, and he sure looks healthy out there tonight.
And this is certainly turning out, Brian, to be quite a wide-open hockey game.
Scored by number 7, Gilbert. Assist, number 20, Goyette. And number 2, Wayne Hillman. The time, 14:47.
14:47 is the time of that goal. We now have 5 minutes and 4 seconds remaining to play in the first period. 3-1 for the Maple Leafs, and it's held against the mesh at the back of the net in Leaf territory.
So you might notice Johnny Bauer there wearing that eye shadow, the burnt cork under the eyes to protect his vision from the glare, possible glare of the ice. And Kent Douglas is the only other player on the ice to use the same measures to add to the protection.
And, Brian, earlier in that first period, Wayne Carlton let a shot go from just the center ice that Cesar Maniego lost. And we don't sure whether it was a hard shot or whether it was the glare, but he doesn't have the cork under his eyes. Here's a chance for Ellis. Al McNeil shooting it right to Alan Stanley. Stanley over to Ellis. Ellis backhands the puck into the New York Rangers zone, and Al McNeil's back there. Larry Jeffrey gets in front of him, tried to center it, and Johnny Marshall picks it up now for the Rangers. Marshall with Wayne Hillman, number 2, coming to center. Over the line to Gilbert. There's his shot. Bauer stopped it, and Marshall was covered by Kelly. New York Rangers are starting to come on now in the latter stages of this first period. Larry Jeffrey. Up for Red Kelly. One man back. Going in with Ron Ellis. Ellis takes the pass. He shoots, and he's got it high and wide. Alan Stanley with it. Cutting in front. There's the backhand, and Wayne Hillman stopped it. Ellis gets it to Jeffrey. To Stanley. Stanley's shot hit Wayne Hillman's knee. Larry Hillman's got it wide. Rod Gilbert to Phil Goyette. Goyette at center ice. Shot it over the leaf line, and Larry Jeffrey goes back and shoots it out again. Alan Stanley let it go as Harry Howell was there quickly for New York. To Phil Goyette. To Rod Gilbert. To Harry Howell. Here's a shot right across the goalmouth. Arnie Brown from inside the blue line let one go, and that's high off the glass. Selby against the boards there for a faceoff.
A lot of people are curious about Boom Boom Jeffrion's comeback attempt in the NHL. The Boomer is not playing tonight. He came to Emile Francis this morning complaining of a pulled muscle along the side, so he's going to be out, possibly back in action tomorrow night.
Okay, Brian, and from the faceoff, the puck is deflected into the corner. Kent Douglas up for Rich Selby, and the shot was knocked right to the Leafs goal there. The Leafs trying to get out of their own zone. Ryan Conacher fails to get it out. Vic Hatfield a shot. Eddie Shack and Douglas. There's Hatfield, another drive, and that's wide. Leafs having difficulty getting out of their own zone. The New York Rangers hemming them in. Trailing 3-1. There's a shot to hit the side of the net, and Eddie Shack has it. He's shot. Bauer hit the referee with his shot, trying to get it out. Eddie Shack watched by Hatfield. Off the boards for Conacher. He's checked. Now it's Horton trying to get out. He falls. Conacher still doesn't get it out. Douglas lifts it up into the crowd. As the Leafs just couldn't get out of their own zone. They were really hemmed in there, Brian, and I was looking at Vic Selby, number 11. We had a good shot of him in the last sequence of plays. He doesn't look like a dead ringer for the late Harvey Jackson with that number 11. That's what he wore.
Well, he hasn't been skating like him in the exhibition swing, Bill. Punch has been complaining about Selby's play.
Well, from the face-off, the puck goes out over the blue line. It's Hickey over his stick. Rich Selby, number 11, up over the center red line. He's hit. Brown was the one that went down, though. Douglas took a shot wide. Howell goes back for it. 2 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the first period. Howell over to Red Berenson. Berenson coming up to center. A pass for Hickey over the line to Berenson. Berenson closing in right for Hatfield. And Jack had him covered. Here's Hatfield, another shot. It's right in front of the Leafs defense. Here's Hickey, a shot. Howell shot down, another shot by Hatfield. And that just missed the corner. It's right in front of the net. Conacher falls. Jack clears it down the ice, and the Leafs are really hanging on. Very fortunate with their 3-1 lead at this point. Here come the Rangers again. Hickey. Brenneman stops him. Then Stemkowski was checked by Sealing. Stemkowski gets it again and gets it to the blue line, but not out. Armstrong gets it over the blue line. Knocked back in again. There's a delayed whistle on this if the Ranger player touches it in the Leaf zone, but it's shot out. Fleming brings it back. Stanley ran into him. And at the blue line, Brenneman tried to get away. He's turned around by Howell. Ingerfield checked by Stanley. Stanley coming up the center. Takes the shot. Howell knocked it down with his glove. Play is called on offside at the New York Ranger blue line. 1 minute and 12 seconds remaining in the first period.
Certainly the Leafs have lost their momentum the last 5 or 6 minutes. I think they sat back like a bunch of fat cats with that 3-goal lead, Bill, but the Rangers have been scrambling back and coming very close.
Yes, I think the Leafs were really hungry in the first 10 minutes, and then they just been content to try and protect this 3-goal lead. which now is 2 with the score 3-1 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Less than a minute to go in this first period as Wayne Hillman comes to center ice for New York. Got it into the corner, and Johnny Brenneman goes back for it, number 24. It's Ingerfield centering it. Fleming took his shot. Bauer stopped it and held on to it, was feeling right on the doorstep. 45 seconds remaining in the first period. Keon, Jeffrey, and Kappen now. Ingerfield, Fleming, and Keeling for the New York Rangers. Larry Hillman and Alan Stanley. Wayne Hillman and Jimmy Nielsen for New York. Jeffrey let it go out to center ice. Nielsen cleared it back. Fleming shoots it over the line. Stanley trapped it for Keon to Kappen, and that was stopped by Nielsen. Now then, Larry Hillman of the Leafs. Just cleared it off the boards. Wayne Hillman brings it back with 19 seconds to Fleming. Alan Stanley ahead to Jim Kappen. Kappen going over the blue line. Trying to get in front of the net. Nielsen failed to get it out. Wayne Carlton still with it. Took a shot. Kappen after it. For Carlton. And Carlton missed it on a stick. And there goes the bell. And the first period is over. And the score at the end of the first period. Toronto Maple Leafs 3, the New York Rangers 1.
We're going to pick up action in the third period of this game. It's now tied 4-4. Rod Gilbert has completed his hat trick. He has 3 on the night. Brian Conacher has also scored for the Leafs. Red Kelly has also scored, and Wayne Hillman has tied the game at 16:49 of the second period from Gilbert and Goyette, as Rod Gilbert's having a big opening night at Maple Leaf Gardens. Let's go back now to the third period of the game, October 22nd, 1966.
Certainly lots of scoring in this one. It was 3-1 for the Leafs at the end of the first period. Now it's 4-4 at the end of the second. Play has started. And the puck is shot back into the New York Rangers zone. And it's Ed Giacomin back in the net. He's Maniego started. Was hurt in the first period. Hurt again in the second. A cut on his chin has put him out, although he's sitting over on the bench. Here's Rod Gilbert with 3 goals tonight so far, and an assist over the line. A shot! Ooh, and that one just failed to find the corner. Johnny Bauer just saw it at the last second and got his toe in the way of it. Bobby Hollis scored for Chicago at 12:57 from Makita to make it a 1-1 tie, and then Detroit scored. Smith from Ullman and Del Victo at 18:24 of the first period. Detroit are leading 2-1. Montreal is leading Boston 2-1, and it's a 4-4 tie here with 19 minutes and 33 seconds remaining to play in the final period. Red Kelly tried to take the pass, couldn't. Rod Gilbert comes back for New York over the line. He's squeezed out of the play, and it's Red Kelly. To Douglas' shot. Giacomin made the save. Scooping it to Nielsen, who's knocked out of the play. Red Kelly hits Gilbert, still has it. Behind the net to Jeffrey. Back to Horton. Horton took his shot. That's wide. Gilbert off the boards, out over the blue line. Kent Douglas shot it in again. Red Kelly was outside. He was rather slow coming out. And the two teams are watching their check very closely, Brian.
Well, did you see Bauer look at Gilbert on that blistering shot? It was almost as if he was to say, somebody better throw a lasso around that guy or we'll never stop him tonight.
I think he was also looking for a defense when he was standing in front of him. It's Horton now with a shot. It's stopped by Jimmy Nielsen. He gets it to Rod Gilbert. Gilbert is checked by Ellis. It deflects off Jeffrey's skate. Horton has to go back for it. Horton gets it ahead to Kelly. Kelly at center ice to Ron Ellis over the line. Going in with Larry Jeffrey. Ellis closing in with a backhand. Giacomin made the save. Kelly tried to get the rebound. Red Kelly covered by Goyette. Kelly gets loose in the corner. Behind the net to Jeffrey. Jeffrey trying to center it. Giacomin hit the top of the net with the puck as he tried to grab it, and they hold it against the boards. The Leafs put on a little pressure here in the final period with the score tied 4-4.
Speaking of Rod Gilbert, Bill, you know, he has that sore back, and according to Bauer, if it's hurting him, it certainly isn't between the first and third period.
Well, he certainly doesn't appear as if he's being bothered in any way. I don't believe he's even wearing a brace anymore, is he?
No, not anymore. He says he's fully recovered.
Brian Conacher is out there on the forward line now with Shack and Selby. Brian Conacher has scored 2 goals tonight for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Gilbert has got 3 of them for the New York Rangers. Ryan Conacher at the blue line with Selby, and it's got away off his stick. He has it in it right back to him as he's pursuing Ingerfield. Alan Stanley in possession now at the Leafs blue line. Nowhere near Selby. Shot it down the ice. Howell cleared it around on the boards, and it goes all the way back out to center ice. And the ice is very fast. And certainly the Lakes line aren't bothering this ice surface tonight. It's been very fast.
No, that's right, Bill. It hasn't bothered the ice surface at all. And we did see Terry Sawchuk wearing the glasses, but he's the only one doing so. And there might be just a little more light along the boards than there is on the ice surface proper. So the players haven't anything to complain about tonight.
Puck goes up into the crowd right from the face-off. For the New York Rangers, offensively have at center ice, Earl Ingerfield, number 10, Rod Feeling, former Marlboro, playing out of the bench, is now a left winger, and Red Fleming. There's the second one up into the crowd in almost the same place. One more, and we'll all get suspicious. On the face-off, it's Brown back to Howell. Howell coming up to center ice, shooting the puck into the Leaf zone. Bauer stopped it. Flicked it for Selby, who missed a check from Fleming, who tried to line him up along the board. Selby shot it to the blue line and hopped over Ernie Brown's stick. Brian Conacher races after Howell. Gets rid of it to the board. Sealing tried to get away from Shack. Eddie Shack took Larry Hillman's pass. Brown then covered him. Larry Hillman again with it. Hillman over to Shack. Eddie Shack starting up now, three of them. To center ice, a long shot by Shack. Jockerman caught it. Gave it to Ingerfield to roll over his stick. Sealy made care of it by carrying it down the ice. Bauer let Stanley come back to get it. A pass to Eddie Shack. For Selby behind him. Tipped by Ingerfield to Hadfield. Conacher covers him. Chases him back into the Ranger zone. Hadfield goes behind the net into the corner. A pass up here to Fleming. Fleming back to Hadfield. Hadfield shoots it into the Leaf zone, and Shack took Hadfield right into the Leaf bench. Ryan Conacher. Wayne Carlton tried to combine. Conacher has it again, number 22 at his own blue line. Up to center. Gets it over the line. Wayne Carlton raced after it. Jockerman to Hadfield. Hadfield ahead to Berenson and Hickey. Hickey down the right side to the blue line. Stanley stopped him. Wayne Carlton flicked it over to Larry Hillman. Went too far past Tappan, and Nielsen right out of Carlton's stick. Carlton to Keon. Keon checked by Hickey. Larry Hillman to Alan Stanley. Off the boards for Carlton. He deflected down to the Ranger blue line. Jimmy Nielsen knocked it back out again. Neither team taking a chance here as they watch each other very closely. Score is tied 4-4. Larry Hillman's shot was right on Jockerman, and Jockerman scooped it over to Vic Hadfield. Leafs are changing their defense as Red Berenson. A back pass to Wayne Hillman, who tied the game up for the Rangers. His shot hit Douglas. Wayne Carlton just handed it to Hickey. Took his shot. Horton stopped it with a skate. Hickey has it again. Sent it across the goal mouth. Arnie Brown lets his shot go. Into the corner for Hickey. Sent it right across the goal mouth. Dave Keon up for Papin, and it was bouncing, and it went by him, also by Howell. Howell wants to go back. Off the boards, it comes to Hickey at the blue line. Back he goes for Berenson off the back of his skate. Berenson stick handles at center ice with Howell over the line. Howell is checked. A pass ahead to Wayne Carlton. Carlton going over the blue line. There's his shot, and Jockerman juggled it, and it dropped at his feet. And every time Carlton lets that shot go, goalkeepers seem to be having difficulty with it. A long pass for Donnie Marshall. Donnie Marshall stops in the release zone. A flip pass for Joe Bear, and it went by him. Picked up by Peter Stemkowski, number 12, and he just shot it down the ice. It's going to the red line, but not over, as Brenneman moves up very quickly. Howell feeds it ahead to Joe Bear to Phil Goyette. Goyette to the Leaf line. He's partially dumped by Douglas. Stemkowski back for it. Stemkowski coming up to center ice. Takes a long shot. Jockerman stopped it with his glove. Has it on his stick. Shot it into the corner. It comes back to Horton. Horton's shot stopped by Douglas. Douglas tried to flick it. Stemkowski shot the puck wide of the Ranger net. Jockerman came out, scooped it around on the boards. It raced to Horton. Horton took his shot. it hit ceilings, the blade of ceiling stick, and it's broken. Now comes Fleming. Shot it. Oh, he's given the old knee by Douglas, and there's going to be a penalty there. Kent Douglas stuck his knee out, and Brian, I would say that's the perfect knee, but right to the penalty box.
Yes, and 10 feet from the official who was on the job.
Up on the face-off. Here's the loose puck. Jimmy Nielsen moves after it. Here's a shot. Oh, and Fleming just missed the open corner. Larry Jeffrey and Ellis trying to get it out. The Rangers keep it in. This is the second penalty of the Maple Leafs in the game. Here's a shot. Bauer's got it and holds it for a face-off, and the fourth penalty of the game, and the penalties are even, 2 apiece.
Bill, a witty friend of mine from Calabogie, when I told him about opening night in 1931, the Leafs in Chicago, wanted to know if Johnny Bauer played goal that night. I said, no, I didn't think so. I think he broke in a couple of years later, didn't he?
Well, and you mentioned Ripley, didn't you?
Yes.
Believe it or not?
Believe it or not.
Okay, we have a face-off in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. A 4-4 tie. The scoring plays in the first period. Brian Conacher, Carlton Kelly, and Gilbert. Puck is in the corner. Larry Hillman holds it against the boards. Hadfield gives him a shove. The puck comes loose. Stanley goes behind the net. It's cleared along to Larry Jeffrey. Chopped at it, but not out. Gilbert keeping it in. To Fleming. Fleming waits. Pass it right on to Jeffrey's skate. Stanley covers up to Ron Ellis. Ron Ellis lets his shot go, and that was just off the target. Reggie Fleming to Rod Gilbert. Gilbert, number 7. Coming to his own blue line. Up the center. Shot it into the lead zone. It bounces right to Bauer. And it's Larry Jeffrey then clearing it, but not out. Rod Gilbert gets set. There's the drive, and that hit a leg and went to the corner. It comes back to the blue line. Gilbert to Ingerfield. Ingerfield takes his shot. All set to go now in front of the face-off in the Ranger zone. Gilbert with Harry Howell. Howell to Gilbert. Here he comes out. Drops it back to Hickey. Bill Hickey at center. Up over the blue line. Hickey moving fast. A pass for Goyette. Just failed to click. Marshall gets it back to Howell to Gilbert. Here comes the drive. And that is just off the target. And Armstrong, I believe, can't get it out. It goes to Goyette. Back to Gilbert. He's closing in. There's his shot. Bauer got it. Red Hickey standing right on the doorstep, Brian. And those Rangers are certainly moving that puck around in the Leaf zone.
Well, Goyette and Marshall are always very classy when they're out there, and Ingerfield too, but as soon as they feed Gilbert with that puck, you notice he doesn't hesitate. He takes that one step and the big slap shot, and Bauer was fortunate there because he was partially screened, and also very good because he got in front of it.
Well, that, of course, is the difference between the professionals and the amateurs. They don't waste any time getting that shot away. Otherwise, they usually hit a leg or something. On the face-off, it comes to Brown over to Harry Howell. Here's his shot. Oh, that was deflected by Hickey just wide of the open corner. New York Rangers keeping it in. Goyette from behind the net trying to shove it in, and it's trapped against the post by Johnny Bauer. You can see his leg. We get a nice close-up there. You just saw him put his pad against the post. Very difficult to shove the puck in as long as he's got that skate against that post. The Rangers playing every man up. They have Goyette at center, Hickey and Marshall on the wing. Brian Conacher gets a hand as he leaves the ice. Keon is out there with Armstrong. Douglas is standing up in the penalty box. So he'll be on shortly. He has about 3 seconds left. There's a shot. Bauer scooped it out to Armstrong. Armstrong ahead to Keon. Douglas is on the ice. Cleared back to the Leaf line. Inside the blue line, Stanley does pick an opening and shoots it down the ice, not realizing Douglas is back out again. And, of course, that is icing the puck. All set to go for the face-off. The puck is dropped. The Leafs are back at full strength, and they have Keon with Brenneman and Tappan. There's a shot. That was wide of the Leaf goal by Nielsen. Fleming trying to let it go. It's cleared by the Leafs out to center ice. Brenneman has been moved up on the left wing to replace Selby. Now we have Boynton. Unable to get out. Berensen's got a chance for the Rangers. A pass to Hadfield, and Hadfield waited too long. Keon to Brenneman. Brenneman ahead to Keon. A long pass on the right side to Tappan. That was stopped by Giacomo. It's right in front of Brenneman, and he took a shot. Going after it is Brenneman again. Ooh, and his head right into the board by Hadfield. But I don't think Hadfield meant that. Brenneman was falling when Hadfield went into him. And it's actually Brenneman is replacing Wayne Carlton on this line, not Fritz Selby, as I mentioned earlier. It's Wayne Carlton. And Wayne Carlton, oddly enough, was one of the real stars in the first part of that first period, Brian. All set to go in the Rangers zone. Keon got the draw, but Hadfield was there to shoot it off the board down the ice. That's going over the red line. Douglas starts to touch it, and it's icing. And the face-off will come all the way back into the Maple Leaf zone to the left of Ed Giacomo. Brian Conacher opened the scoring in the first period at 58 seconds. Carlton made it 2-0 for the Leafs at 5:10. Kelly made it 3-0 at 11:15. Gilbert got one back at 14:47 of the first period. It was 3-1 for the Leafs at the end of the first. Puck goes down the ice. Tim Horton going back for it. Hadfield takes it away from him. Then Jim Pappen moves in. A flip pass to Johnny Brenneman to Jim Pappen. Pappen coming out over his own zone to center ice. Up over the blue line. Took his shot. That was wide. Ends up behind the net. Brenneman fights forward with Hillman. Hillman takes the Leaf player out of the play, and it's Jimmy Nielsen now for Berenson. Up over the Leaf line. Berenson checked by Horton. Horton just shoots it down the ice. It's going over the red line. And that's going to be icing. And we have 9 minutes and 40 seconds remaining in the game. Score is tied 4-4. In the second period, Gilbert at 4:10, Brian Conacher at 6:08, Gilbert then at 12:52, and finally Wayne Hillman at 16:49 tied it up for the pesky New York Rangers, who were down 3-0 in the first period at one time. So it's a 4-4 tie, 9:40 remaining. Here's a stand by Gilbert. And Brian Conacher comes down the ice to center. Over the blue line. Trying to cut in. Centered it right across the goal line. Fritz Selby out there with him and Shack. Goyette. Over the blue line. Stopped by Stanley. And it's Hillman for Conacher again. Conacher cleared it over the line. Shack races down the ice. It's cleared around on the boards. Larry Hillman for Selby. And he just failed to deflect it to Shack. Larry Hillman kept it in. Selby tried to get it loose. Larry Hillman takes a long shot. Caught by Giacomo. Now it's Arnie Brown behind the Ranger goal. Over here to Harry Howell. Harry Howell at center ice. Over the blue line. Into the corner, a backhand. Harry Hillman. For Shack. He was checked by Goyette. Goyette then to Harry Howell. Howell at center ice. A long shot. Bauer stopped at the rebound of Marshall. Weak drive. He gets it back, but it's too hard. And it comes all the way to center ice. Wayne Hillman, number 2 for the Rangers. He hit Jeffrey. Goyette then kept it in. Larry Jeffrey turns. Up zone. Kelly lost the draw. The Rangers fail to get it out. Horton slapped it into the corner. Slides behind the net. Kelly to Jeffrey. Got it back behind the net. Ellis goes after it with Wayne Hillman. He's jammed out of the play. Ingerfield hits Jeffrey. Fleming. Bumped by Douglas. Horton is back behind the Leaf goal, and Horton turns. Ahead for Kelly. Kelly coming up to center ice. Over to Jeffrey. Jeffrey breaks through the defense, but it's offside as Ron Ellis was on the right wing and went over in advance of the puck carrier. The last second, it topped off Jeffrey's stick after he had crossed that blue line. 7:31 remaining, and it's a 4-4 tie. Jimmy Nielsen shoots the puck down the ice, and it's Tim Horton going back for it, number 7, into the corner. Back of the Maple Leaf goal to Douglas. Douglas to Kelly, off the boards to center ice. Jeffrey is covered. Covers Wayne Hillman, and then the puck is on the far side. Rod Sealing taking a long shot wide of the Leaf net. It ends up behind the goal. Kent Douglas just clears it out to center ice. Both teams are fairly cautious now as they are playing a 4-4 tie. Horton. A pass went in the Fleming stick, and he shot it wide. Fowler was trying to get in the road of the Ranger player. Here's a three-man break for the Lynx over the line to Ellis. Ellis shoots. It's right on goal, and Kelly tried to deflect it into the corner. Jackman just saw it the last second. Back for the Rangers, Seelig. Over to Fleming, over the line. A drop pass for Ingerfield. His backhand. Bauer stops it. Clears it to Douglas, who's covered by Fleming. Horton. A pass for Kelly, too far. It's going over the red line. The Rangers go back to touch it, and that's icing. 6:13 is remaining in this hockey game. Score is tied 4-4.
Well, Bill, I hope the fans enjoyed our countdown to face-off during the intermission between the second and third periods. And next week we have a special treat in store, a visit to a summer hockey school and camp in Haliburton, Ontario.
Well, they're certainly becoming very popular now, aren't they, Brian?
Yes, they are. More and more every year.
On the face-off, the puck goes into the corner. It's Keon trying to get it out. Alan Stanley, number 26. Over to Jim Pappen. Pappen off a skate. Larry Hillman moves up to center right. Shot it over the line. Davey Keon goes into the corner. Behind the net, Pappen went sliding into it. On the side, still has it right in front for Benjamin, and he missed the corner. He shot it right in front of the net. And it goes over to Berenson. Berenson gets it out to center ice. Johnny Brenneman breaks it up. Cleared it back in again. Pappen after it with Danny Brown. Pappen centered it. Brenneman couldn't get to it. Berenson comes back for New York. A backhand into the corner. Hatfield let a shot go that hit the side of the net. Jimmy Pappen for Dave Keon. Keon going down. One man back. Closing in. He shoots. Oh, he shot it over the top of the net. Johnny Brenneman trying to center it. And Berenson gets it for New York. Over to Hatfield. Back to Berenson. Berenson coming up to center ice. Over the line. Pass it back for Marshall. He's closing right in. He shoots. Fowler stops it. The rebound to Wayne Hillman. He backhands it into the corner. Ends up behind the net. Alan Stanley after it. Larry Hillman covers up. That shoots it out to center ice. 4:48 remaining in the game. Wayne Hillman of the Rangers, a long shot. Bauer caught it. Larry Hillman of the Leafs. Off the boards to his brother at center ice for the Rangers, who shot it right back again. Alan Stanley. Over to Larry Hillman. Up for Brian Conacher. Hit Wayne Hillman. Brian Conacher fell when he seemed to step on something. Goyette. Covered by Larry Hillman. Brian Conacher goes after it. Knocked out by the glove of Phil Goyette. A neat defensive play by Goyette. Donnie Marshall offside at the Toronto Maple Leafs blue line with 4 minutes and 7 seconds remaining to play. And the score tied 4-4.
Even when Rod Gilbert goes offside, he looks dangerous out there tonight, Bill.
I think the key defensive play of the night has to be that one just a second ago by Phil Goyette.
Yes.
Otherwise, there are two Leaf players in. Eddie Shack on the forward line with Brian Conacher and Britt Selby. Phil Goyette with Donnie Marshall and Rod Gilbert. Jimmy Nielsen shoots the puck into the Maple Leaf zone. Bauer stopping it with a stick to Douglas. 3:58 remaining in the game. Chicago has tied the score now at Detroit. Nikita from Bobby Holland for one. A 4-4 tie as Horton feeds the pass to Kent Douglas. A long shot. Jackman made the save, and Gilbert's back there for it. Number 7 behind the Ranger goal. To Harry Howell. Howell coming out over the blue line to center. A long shot. Bauer stopped it, and Eddie Shack was back for it. 3 minutes and 21 seconds remaining in the game. Shack lost the puck. Britt Selby goes to the boards and holds it there rather than give it away. With 3 minutes and 14 seconds left, the Lynx having difficulty again, Brian, getting that puck out of their own zone.
Well, it's been one of those periods. The Leafs had a big edge in the first 20 minutes, and then the Rangers fought back strongly, and this one's been even Steven all the way. And, the first break, of course, is the big one from now on.
Face-off will be in the Maple Leaf zone to the left. And it's Earl Ingerfield, Rod Seelig, and Reg Fleming, Wayne Hillman, and Jimmy Nielsen, who has the puck at the blue line. There's his shot, and it was stopped by Bauer with a stick. Harry Jeffrey for Red Kelly, and it goes to Jimmy Nielsen at center right. Fleming knocks it back into the lead zone, and it's Larry Hillman. Off the boards to Ronnie Ellis, who is checked. 2:55 remaining. Stanley over to Hillman. Larry Hillman to center. Got it over the Ranger line into the corner. Behind the net for Ron Ellis. Jimmy Nielsen was the first man to come up with it, though, to Rod Seelig. Stealing to center right. Just shoots it into the lead zone, and Bauer stops it with his stick as it was coming in front. Larry Jeffrey now in the lead zone coming out. Ahead for Ron Ellis, and that's offside. Inside the blue line and over the red line at center. 2 minutes and 28 seconds, Brian, remaining in this hockey game.
Still a couple of familiar names atop the scoring list for this early in the season. Stan Mikita and Bobby Hull. Mikita 2 points there tonight. That's 6 points for him, and Hull has 5. So it looks like another battle between those two for scoring honors.
That's right, and I believe that's his third goal of the year.
That's right.
So he's really almost starting off as fast as he did last year. It's very noticeable, though, in the games they've played. They're getting good goalkeeping, which the experts weren't too sure about. It's Kent Douglas getting it out to center ice. Keon and Brenneman along the boards. On the faceout, Brian Conacher with Armstrong and Selby. Armstrong on the right side failed to get to it. Neither could Conacher. Berenson clears it in. 52 seconds remaining in the game. Alan Stanley behind the net. Over to Hillman. Up for Armstrong. It's Berenson knocking Larry Hillman down. The shot was wide of the lead goal. Alan Stanley. He hit Berenson. Stanley to Larry Hillman. Over for Armstrong. Too far. Nielsen shoots it out. Conacher along the boards. Jimmy Nielsen traps them there, and they're all right at that Ranger bench with 20 seconds remaining in the game. 20 seconds. Kelly now with Selby and Armstrong. Goyette, Gilbert, and Marshall for the New York Rangers. Rod Gilbert scoring 3 goals. The puck goes back to Stanley from Gilbert. He shot it off the boards into the Rangers zone. Wayne Hillman fed it ahead to Goyette to Gilbert, and he just shoots it into the lead zone. It goes to the corner. Bauer to Larry Hillman. 4 seconds remaining. Hillman just waits. And there goes the bell, and the game is over. And the New York Rangers and the Toronto Maple Leafs really battled through 3 periods. After the Leafs leading 3-1 at the end of the first, it was 4-4 at the end of the second. No scoring in the final period. And so the final score of tonight's game is the New York Rangers 4 and the Toronto Maple Leafs 4.